Hello, this is Harrison Ingalls. I'm here to give you a little bit of a podcast. If you know me, you're probably unique, unless you're a friend of mine, of which I have few. At any rate, before I start, I've got to give you a commercial. That's mandatory. I have a website called hdingles.com. That's HDINGLES.com. And I have some blogs on it and not a whole lot more. I try to sell you some books, but that's through Amazon. If you're interested in my books, you can either on my website click on the little Amazon button, or just go to Amazon and click on, enter HD Ingalls. Pretty simple. At any rate, here we go. Public transportation. I'm not against public transportation. That is, in the right venue. For example, New York City would fall apart without public transportation. Well, now that I think on it, maybe NYC is falling apart anyway, but that's another story. About 1 o'clock this afternoon, I went to Brig's restaurant. I was hungry, and I considered my miserable cooking skills, so I opted for Brig's. Anyway, after I ate, I sat on a bench out front to have a cigarette or two, along with a cup of their very good coffee. I was sitting there, enjoying my smoke and watching the world go by, a rather pleasant sit. Then a huge bus drove by. I don't mind huge buses, except this one was empty. Well, there was a driver. 5 minutes later, a smaller bus drove by with 3 people in it. Okay, it had a driver too. This situation, unfortunately, doesn't happen only in front of Brig. It happens all over Cary. Something quite unusual then happened. I started thinking, why the huge bus? Then, why the small bus, which was still rather large? Then, why not an 8-seat van? Then, given the expense of the initial cost, plus maintenance, plus fuel, plus a driver, why not Uber? For those who cannot afford a car or cannot drive and need to get someplace, work maybe, why not let them get an Uber through the town and let them pay the price of the bus? If you think I'm crazy, next time you need a car, try buying a bus. The same goes for all of this rail madness. The truth is, for many generations, Americans have always wanted their own horse. I grant you that today you should substitute car for horse, but the principle's the same. While we were talking about trains, whether the government likes it or not, many enjoy a cigarette. Will they have a smoker car? Heavens no. That would encourage those who want to enjoy themselves to enjoy themselves. What a curse. Well, that's what I think, and that's the end. Of course, I have to give you another commercial. I told you before, it's obligatory, They'll shoot me if you don't. hdingles.com. That's HDINGLES.com. I have a half dozen books on Amazon, and you can either get to my books by going straight to Amazon or going to my website and clicking on Amazon, which takes you there anyway. Well, that's it. Thank you for listening.